Hey everyone, I'm Ralf, working at Electrolux. Been there for 10 years, in corporate communications. All the time being responsible for the group intranet. The most recent change was the change of my title, going from intranet responsible to what we call management engagement, because this is what it's about. So I'm going to talk about our journey, showing some screenshots of our intranet and how we are working with trying to reach the ideal world. And we are far from it. And it's an, I would say, not use the term struggle, but it's a constant challenge. Someone in this audience said we need focus, and that's correct, we need focus. Some words about Electrolux. We are big, 55,000 employees now, bought a company in Egypt some months ago, and employees in 60 countries. So we also have the language challenge that employees in Egypt or China not necessarily understand English. And how do we get them to use these tools as well? We also have the challenge of having maybe some 35,000 factory workers that are also first-class citizens, and they should be treated as first-class citizens. So we should also think of them. How do we reach them? How could they work and collaborate in our company? I'm the business owner from the business side for our group intranet, having 3 different CMS and the Google search advice. We started with the corporate communication challenge 2002 when I joined, saying how can we get managers, instead of sending out emails, to move over to the intranet, having a news-driven approach. And that took maybe 3-4 years, and we succeeded with that. Another challenge is more, how can we move away from corporate communication news into be more personal blogs? That is the new challenge we have again. But we have, I would say, 95% according to our internal comm survey of our white collars access the internet on a regular basis. And we initiated social networking. I call it social networking, but that's the Facebook style where anyone can start a community, anyone can go in and follow a leader or invite someone to their own network, Jammer style, did more than a year ago. And we quickly realized that we cannot just launch it and say, yes, it will work, because it will not work. You need focused attention, and I think, so I will share some experiences from that part with you. What is coming later this year is having more integrated messaging experience also on the internet, seeing awareness, chat, launch web meetings. And for that part, you can really do a hard ROI, use travel, phone calls, etc. That's the only area I've found that you can do ROI before you start doing this kind of collaboration measures. And learning from other companies, I heard a presentation from a McKinsey consultant last week and said that most companies start with soft ROIs, and that is okay, because soft ROIs will lead to hard ROIs. So go with your instinct and just start. Okay? That's also a lesson learned. What we did when we launched this social part of the collaboration was to rewrite our intranet statement. We have a mission, because we have 450 editors working in 60 countries. It's important that everyone understand why are we having this intranet, how are we supposed to work with the intranet, etc. So this is our mission statement for our corporate intranet, and the goals that we say that we want to be very good at. Content collaboration and self-service. So engage is the new term that we use. Before it was inform or update, now it's engage. And it's also shared on our intranet and with our editorial community. If you look at our objectives, I would say we are quite good at, because we had a corporate news-driven approach for many, many years. That's where we started. So in terms of inspire and engage employees, in terms of being able to read articles and respond and discuss articles, we've done that for many years. So we have a high level of engagement. People feel very much updated. and they can access the internet from their mobile devices, from their home computer, or from their colleague's computer very easily. The big challenge, I would say, is what we have now, is to make collaboration be an integral part of the business. Because it's when you have your core processes and you have collaboration and those two meet, and you start, how can we do things in new ways, that you will find that ROIs and hard ROIs, not before. And of course, this will not happen if you don't, of course, get the buy-in from senior management, talk about middle management, about running the programs and processes. The sixth I will not mention, that's self-service. I'm really bad at that. But that's, I would say that's probably the most cost-consuming part of having a more self-service oriented internet that can do anything online. And we are doing it very little money. This is not to say that we are quite good at informing our employees via the internet. This is a study we did a few years ago, but it's still valid. eGet is our internet, and employees feel that it is the best channel we have for getting to know where we're heading as a company. And this is thanks to that we moved all the emails into a corporate news approach. These are in our group policies that if you want to inform your employees, you need to do it in a news way, not email way. We did that years ago. This is now a little bit old, it's more than a year old, but I use this graph when I meet with leaders. Sit down and say, well, why should we use collaboration? Why should I change the way I communicate to my employees, etc.? Because we have a lot of evidence that there are quick wins in engagement, the sense of being better informed, knowledge sharing, and eventually also innovation. And this is important. Where we started, and why we started doing this thing, is that we have, as many other companies, we have many business units, we have R&D within each business unit. We're still working in silos. People in this team cannot find the documents that this team is working on, etc. So for us, knowledge sharing was key. We had good engagement, but knowledge sharing was our key thing that we got the buy-in from group management. And I hijacked one member in group management within our professional business that was really into this. And then we launched the project. Today we read a lot about changing workplace behavior, and I think one company also will abandon email. And I think this is part of the story, because if I look at how we communicate at Electrolux still, in terms of sending out an email with attachment to 10, 15 people, asking for feedback in an email, it's just stupid, and we still do that at Electrolux. And I think that if we can get our employees to understand, this is my screen, this is my email inbox, this is part of the internet, the plugin we have where I can write status update, and I have my 150 followers here, so I don't send out emails. I can do a quick post there if I want them to follow what I'm doing, or want to share something. This is by far much more engaging, personal way of communicating. And this plugin will now be rolled out for all the employees in Europe in the coming months. But the challenge is that, okay, we can launch this, you will see it's something on the right side that says status update, but will we start doing it? No. I think we need to look at it from a change management perspective. How do we run change management projects? Because this is a change management project that never ends. This is an example of how I work with, it's called activities. It's part of our collaboration suite. But in this case, I can drag a document into my area. I can invite Thomas and Joachim into discussion. I can quickly see who responded when, and I can go into the discussion there, etc. So I think I can drag the document back into emails. This is how we want to, quickly you have an idea, respond in here, not in the email client, not in the email. So this is also this is changing the way how we can work and speed up the interaction. And for me, I think and that's also the experience. When we launched the platform, it was like it had activities, it had status updates, but we said, here it is, now we can start employee networking and you can work smarter. And then we had list everything so they could do. It was like I went in and said, where do I start? And no one started. When this thing suddenly appeared in my email inbox, and I was running the mobile project, I quickly realized that, because I'm not a structured guy, that you had several meetings, you have meeting minutes in your email, then you have attachments in the calendar invitation, and I wanted to structure things so everyone I had meetings with could take part in the final decisions. When I could drag and drop the calendar invitation, the minutes into this, sorted, I invited all the 20 people, I sent out an email to everyone, I want your feedback from Monday next week. And it took me 20 minutes. I realized it's so powerful. I had goosebumps on my body when I went home that Friday afternoon. Got home to dinner for the first time for several weeks. So the thing is that people need help to start doing this. And we need to have initiatives to help them start doing this. And when they do, it will take off. So if I'm looking at our projects and how we've done things now over the last years, this is the John Cocker model, and how, when we're working with change management, that we launched this platform that you can do everything in here. We did the mistake calling it Facebook, but for business. And of course, you have humanities to say that, well, we don't do Facebook at Electrolux, we need to work. So, now we don't call it Facebook any longer. Well, we started looking at how can we initiate a change project that will make sure that we reach every single employee in the company. Because if you don't have a story that signals everyone that this is really crucial, we need to do this, it will not really take off. Role modeling, we talk about superiors, or how are your leaders behaving? How are they using the tools? If they're absent, people feel that, well, it's not supported by the company. Training was mentioned in the previous presentations. I think everyone who will start to use it, they of course need help, support, easily ask questions, and feel that someone is listening to me, holding my hand, especially leaders. When I'm sitting with our CEO and he says, well, I really want to start using it, but he's traveling all the time, and when I get the minutes and say that, but okay, are you expecting me to do this? You didn't think it's a few clicks. You need to hold their hands. And we need to reinforce the project. Here we have the term structures and processes. In our case, how we are supporting 450 editors and the content owners. Well, we started a community. All the support is going through that community now. They're not allowed to email me or my editorial team. They need to go into the forum. One function is that you can go in there, ask a question. When they get the question they are happy with, they can say, I approve this question, it's good for me. And you will see on the start page if there's a lot of unhappy, non-answered questions. It's very embarrassing. So it's clean up by itself. So treat this as a change management project with all its ingredients. And this is also just emphasizing you need to get the managers aboard. Top management, middle management, get them to use it. But then of course you have different kind of leadership styles. You have the people that they want facts, they are analytical, I don't believe in this. Okay, you need to treat them in a certain way, and then you have the others that are more into coaching, emotions and stuff. They are probably the ones that are easy to get on your side by saying that we need to raise the level of engagement. and a very analytical leader, maybe within finance, would say that, well, we don't have time for that. It's all about money and time. What I say now to our, when I sit down with people, more senior people, I say that if you start communicating in this new way, you will reach the employees faster, and you will reach them in the channels they prefer, and the impact will be bigger, because personal information always beats corporate information by 4 or 5 times. Always. And it sticks. So this is an example. We have 9,000 of our white collars have a mobile device. So we launched a mobile internet. We said, well, if you make them following you and you communicate on the internet, even if they're traveling, they will see your update and they can respond. So that's why I'm building a business case to make sure it's the absolute Rolls Royce of communication. Nothing else can beat it. So they will feel that I don't have any option. I have to be here. And it's also about modern leadership. I'll come back to that. So in short, emailing is not okay. In our case, service in many countries, it might take hours for an email to reach an employee in China. Once we have a few servers in one data center, it goes up directly. And reach employees in preferred level channels. Mobile, in the email client, as I showed you in the sidebar. In your mobile phone when you're traveling, I mentioned that. Home PC, etc. And of course on the internet. Another very effective way to get the leaders to automatically buy the concept is not to approach them, approach their processes, process owners and the program managers. You have a lot of processes, you have a lot of programs. The programs and processes that I'm involved in now, that, for instance, if you take the employee onboarding process, what we're doing now, we are rewriting the whole process and making it social. What it means is that all the line managers have the responsibility to invite an employee to a 90-day program which will take place in the community for new employees. And by doing that, of course, there's a lot of added value. They can find other new employees, they can filter by competences and see that I'm working in design. I have a new person in design in Brazil that joined. Oh. So that process will be launched now in Q1. Another very effective way, usually the programs are closer to you than you really expect, is the top management meetings we have every year. And luckily I got my manager to say, okay, this year we will not send out an email, welcome to the top management meeting. He will write a blog in a community. So we started by inviting all the 190 executives into the community, and he posted a blog. What I do? Well, the same thing I've been doing for 10 years. As of course, his blog was visited 400 times by 190 people. I make sure that he gets this feedback. And everyone is registered for the event and so on. So, and this is the key. He feels that this is a strong channel, he wants to do it again. A global customer care program, it's about service, and our brand promise is thinking of you. And believe me, we're not always thinking of our customers, we say that. What we did there is that we posted a few letters from angry customers to our former CEO who were so disappointed about our service because it was really crap. Well, we made it visible, and we invited the whole company to the dialogue. They could join the community, and it's now part of the program. And it really took off when our HR director that sponsored that program started to join one of the discussions, not as number 1 or 2 or 3. She came in as number 4, just saying, yes, this is so important. Continue the dialogue. And then suddenly you had a technical director from Italy coming into discussion, and met the service manager from Germany, And in that dialogue, of course, we find solutions to problems. And that is what you need to accomplish. Innovation are thinking of course, crowdsourcing and how can we involve our employees in innovation. So if you have people, well, the people you have working in innovation, you should just go and take their hand and talk about this together. I'm now part of the Open Innovation team, and we will look into how can we involve our employees in that process. And here you will get ROIs. Hopefully big numbers. Strategy was mentioned, IBM as a first-class example, and I agree, they're extremely good at this. The whole strategy process is currently under work. It's now being discussed in the top management community, and we're having a discussion how can we also invite all the employees in that process, which eventually will be an open community, everyone can go in, and we'll have discussion topics to discuss things, because it's our strategy and it's our employee strategy as well. So I think here, work start here, then by itself you will get the manager sign off because they already signed off the programs. About the users, what we did also when we launched the tool the first time was we realized that we got a lot of bad feedback. One jumped me at the Christmas party and said, Ralf, the whole project was a total fiasco. It's not good to hear, especially in the Christmas party. So we launched a big global usability study. We were filming users and we had workshops in 4 countries to say how do they think in terms of collaboration, where would they place a document, where would you place a wiki, how what would you call it, things like that. And we ended up with doing some changes. We did one change a few months back, and we are relaunching the whole internet next month, based on that. And this is, we're going back to the change management process. If you say you need a compelling story, something that no one can say no to, this is what started the story. This was it was not that we're launching collaboration, it was that we need to, people don't understand how to find their way in the internet. We need to do change, we need to redo it. So it's a big redo, but in that redo process, we are lifting collaboration. And launching a video to 20 languages to all employees, and this is the new way how we work at Electrolux. Of course, the DCO is part of the writing a blog, and someone else is picking it up, etc. But I think the learning is that employees, of course, they are on Google, they are on Facebook, so they are expected to right-click and do stuff directly, and click away to 5 other pages to do things. So, and I agree, they want it to be personalized. One experience here was that people who saw status updates that was not really relevant for them, it was like, oh, it's sunny today. He actually stopped using the tool because he said, I'm not at work to read this crap. I want to have, it needs to be business related. And when we launched it was a lot of, it's snowing, it's raining, I'm hungry today, but not now. But that's a learning. So I think also the social flow needs to be very relevant. Otherwise people will, because they are busy, extremely busy. Five minutes, okay, thanks. So when we launched the collaboration platform, we didn't, it was a few months, 1 month back, or 2 months back. We didn't say, okay, come in again now, we changed it. We'll say, okay, we improved your profile page. Instead of having it in a strange database, which is hard to find, it's 7 clicks to find the details, and it's another clicks to change it. It's just 1 click. 1 click to see it, and if you want to update it, also just 1 click. And by the way, you can now find competence experts in 2 clicks. You can sort by product line and find the expert. And they got it in the same context. What does it tell you? Well, everyone is expert in something, and at the same time, people can find you. You would say that. You say that you can find others. And that really, it was really powerful. So that's where we started, and we'll do a series of this kind of communication activities going forward. And for leaders, it's very embarrassing, you know, well, I would think that if I were a leader in that situation, that you're very visible in news articles, smiling, you know, doing a project, haha. And then they go to that leader's profile page and it says not active, it's no photo. It sends a very strange signal. So that is also every leader needs to understand. Your profile page is becoming maybe your most important asset. That's your hub in your communication. That's the page, you know, every time you're doing something, emailing someone, they just click your name and they will end up on your profile page. Also what we're doing is that search is really used, especially when you're searching for people and competences. And when I'm lifting it up to the internet, direct search in the top right corner, so it's when you start writing brand, it lists all the people within brand or names. So it's both competences and names. And it's already used by 4,500 employees, so we know that it will be appreciated. In the Internet Redesign project, we also, of course, set up a community. This is an example where the city asked a question, and Johanna in my team, her focus is to work online on a social platform, driving the project online. Via blogs, wikis, responding, etc. And this approach, how we're working with our stakeholders, and also in this project, is we have a tradition of working in this way for many years. Now with these tools, it's just a lot easier. And now when we're relaunching the internet, we have a wiki where people can sign up as ambassadors. So we have a list of all the sites in the company, 3 columns, and we want 3 ambassadors per site. And people are just signing up because they want to take an active role. And in some cases, of course, you need to have special meetings with communication heads and really go through in this case, the project, so they're understanding the details, and then online is not enough. You need, of course, a physical meeting. And this is just a sample of our statistics. I'm a fan of statistics. The blue line is our SharePoint environment. That's more team sites where you share documents and listings and calendar view, but it's not very social. And this is the social platform, which we launched 40 months ago. This was a blog by one of our sector managers. Then it stopped just once. Keeps increasing. We didn't do much because we realized that we need to redo the internet before we start communicating the benefits again. Because we started here. Here, the sector head for the European operations sent out an email to his 7,000 employees saying that, hey, I'm now going online, and you're very welcome to follow me. So we have the follow concept. Before we had a follow concept, no one was inviting a senior leader because, you know, let's say if he says no, you know, it's embarrassing. When we had the follow concept, it just started to roll. And you can see that immediately 1,000 people went into his profile page and he's down 1,000 followers. So when he's writing a status update, they will see it automatically. And they do respond to his wall. When it started, it was like 50 comments. Everyone, this is great. And this is when we relaunched the platform, promoting the profiles, and our CEO started to write status updates and blog. And now it's increasing for every week. So I think that the social collaboration has extremely high potential. I would say SharePoint document sites is very solid, you find and you work, but it's not that potential. If you don't have the social aspect of it, I don't think it has that high potential. And this is just a sample of our intranet as it looks today, with a profile in the top right corner. One click to edit my profile. And this is our own Jammer feed coming from IBM Connections. And then, of course, we have the corporate news. A challenge for us, how can we have corporate news to drive also social? Because today it's a corporate, you go in and read it. Of course, you can activate the discussion. It's not really hard to see, is it something social going on here? So what we're doing now in the next version coming later in February is to also have the corporate news more visual, that you can share it. You will see if it's related blogs to this article or if it's an ongoing discussion. So here is still corporate, and here is still personal. So you might see that a discussion pops up to 24, and then you can see that Anna, in this case, she commented in the news story, what did she say? And then you go in and read. What also we are doing is that with the 1,100 different start pages, there will be just one. So it's a one click to filter, for instance, Electrolux Professional is our professional business. One click to render, it will render the news, render information about people joining within the company, and also social related. Following the Facebook feeling. So I think, and what we also are doing is that this feed will be on each and every single page on the internet. Today it's only on the start page. Making it even more important for managers to say that, well, I need to reach out now, this is important. And they can just type a message, click share, it's out. So that's the experiences we have for doing this for a few years, social for 14 months. But I would say that it's a constant change management thing. And quick wins, you will not get many quick wins. It takes time. Just by people, a lot of people don't like change. So I think that you need to give it time as well before you start measuring the success. Yeah.
Ralf, thank you. I have to say, a picture is definitely worth 1,000 words. And I think it was great to see so many live examples. And thank you for sharing. Thank you for your candid stories about where you are with some things and maybe where you haven't quite got to where you want to be, where you need to be. Again, that's the spirit that we should be holding these conferences in. Please share, good and bad. Let's all learn from each other. That's really, really important. We'll just take a couple of quick questions now. I'm sure Ralf will be available over lunch and later in the day as well. Let's take two now.
Ralf, my question is, I'm Roman Bartik. My question is, you mentioned you've got 30,000 factory workers.
Yes.
How are they going to interact with this?
Well, today they have terminals and plasma screens, but they have 5-minute breaks. You can imagine 400 people sharing one screen and one computer. So I think, my thinking is that it's a strong bring your own device. People are talking about that. They have their own devices, they have their mobile phones, etc. So that is something that I want to start, give them a personal login, because they have today a factory login, and then they can use their own devices, mobile phone, or to take part.
One more question? No? Okay, let's go ahead.
If you really have bad news, you have to make redundancies 10% of your workforce.
So, but I fully support having a transparent dialogue, because
There's no dialogue, it's just a bad message.
Well,
will you allow your company then to log on this thing, or do you just send out the additional?
No.
It's a Q&A, etc.
Anyone can blog, anyone can go in, so we don't forbid anything. But the question is that if we go out with the news, and how do we handle, of course, personally I think it should be transparent. Allow comments to come in, because otherwise they will not come in here, they will go to Facebook or outside. Of course we should, and through the comments that comes in, have a professional way of handling those questions. That's my personal belief. But if you look at the collaboration tools, anyone can start a blog, and immediately get a lot of followers, and we have no policy saying that you can do that. And it's not, I would never support prohibiting things like that.
It's why it's important to have the CEO on the social network, internal social network, because he will spread out the voice when there will be a crisis. So he will start the voice and help the communication to spread out the information more clearly. So it's starter. So if he's not in this network, it's more complicated.
And you won't create a social collaborative organisation if you only do the good stuff. If you only do the nice things, it's not going to work.
Exactly. And I think a lot of leaders, they want the input from the business. And how did we collect that in the past? Sending out a survey every second year, every year. Or maybe do a survey. Now they have the collective intelligence just a few clicks away. You just go out with a post, I want your feedback. So I think the leaders, they want that input because it's critical for them to understand how does the business think and about this topic and that. They want that input. So I think that's interesting because the communication managers have that task to get that kind of input via surveys, but now actually they can gather it themselves directly via these tools. So that's an interesting shift.
Great. Any more questions that you have for Ralf, please collar him over lunch. And you will still have an hour for lunch, you'll be delighted to know. So thank you.